introduction, and let me add my welcome to all of you to Charlotte, North Carolina, the home of Duke Energy. And many comments have been made about the impressive list of speakers this morning, and I speak a fair amount in the industry, but I'm not sure I've ever been followed by a head of state, an astronaut, and a futurist. So you all have a treat in store to hear about leadership and broad perspective, and really looks like a terrific conference. Hopefully you enjoy it. You know, this region of Charlotte and Duke Energy has a long history in the energy business. As I look at a company that's been in business for over 100 years, it actually began in this region by harnessing the power of the Catawba River and developing one of the first, if not the first, interconnected power systems. It was an important part of attracting the textile industry from the Northeast to the Carolinas, and it's just been a long history of energy development in this region. It was followed in the 70s and 80s with nuclear leadership and the building of nuclear power not only for our company but for the U.S. You may remember a name, Bill Lee, who was the CEO of Duke Energy in 1980. Really, his name is associated very closely with nuclear power and the strength of that important resource in our economy. Bill's writings are archived at Duke, as you can imagine, and about this time, a little over 40 years ago, he was speaking to a group of engineers in Charlotte, and I pulled a quote out of some of his remarks that I thought would be pertinent in setting context today. So this is Bill Lee in the 1980s. Engineers tend to have one thing in common. They love to look to the future. It's up to engineers to design the systems necessary to keep up with ever more complex demands and come up with the technology needed to serve customers better in the future. And as I reflect on those comments today, they're timeless comments because the world he saw, which was ever increasing and complex, that's a great description of what we see today. You know, I speak often about the fact I see the electric industry here in the U.S. and really around the world as an industry in transformation, an industry that is really trying to address so many external factors, whether it's technology or customer preference or public policy, that has such an extraordinary impact on our industry. And I thought as maybe part of our introductory remarks and really setting the stage for your conference, I'd comment about those trends of transformation and how we are thinking about them at Duke Energy. And as I describe these trends and also our reaction, I'm sure there are things that are consistent with the views that you have, the customers you serve, the businesses that you work in. And hopefully this will set a nice broad context for the conference that's underway this week. So as I think about this period of transformation in our industry and our role as engineers and leaders in this industry, I point to trends around technology and customer and policy. And although none of us know what the future is, with the exception of our futurist who may be able to share it with you later, where are we going to put our time and attention in an environment and an industry that's changing so rapidly? What are the investments we should be making today? How should we be thinking about positioning our businesses and our customers for the future? Well, at Duke, we think about three things in this complex business. One of them is customer, of course, first and foremost. The second one is how do we modernize and make our infrastructure smarter and able to accommodate, accept, and really lead on the experience our customers expect and the technologies that we need to embrace. And then finally, how do we continue the important progress that we're making around clean energy? As the world and as the U.S. continues to strive for carbon reduction, what is our role and how can we play in that area? So let me talk about each of those things, and I'm going to start with customer because at Duke Energy, everything begins with customer. We have a long history of a mission-oriented industry that cares deeply about supplying power 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But I would also suggest that we grew up caring a lot about the network, caring a lot about the assets. We have metrics that have to do with geography and reliability and capacity factors. And at times we can lose sight of how our product impacts customers. And in this era, 2018 and beyond, our customers are incredibly empowered. They have devices at their fingertips. They want information. They expect more from us in terms of understanding where their power comes from. They want communication from us that is different than what we might have offered even a decade ago. And I think about that empowered customer, ease of doing business, options, better communication techniques. Residential customers care about billing options. They care about how we contact them. And just coming off of 2 significant hurricanes here in the Carolinas and in Florida, Matthew and Florence, our customers want to know not only what the overall estimated time of recovery is for the region in general, they want to know specifically for their zip code, for their house, for their community. And just in Hurricane Florence alone, we used text messages, 5 million of them blasted out over a few days to keep our customers informed about what was happening. That's not the experience that our customers would have had in the 90s, as an example, but something they especially expect here in 2018. So an empowered customer expecting options, expecting choices, expecting to be engaged more thoroughly, more information about the way they use energy. Industrial customers have always been a centerpiece of our work at Duke Energy, but I would suggest that power quality, and what power quality means is something that is increasing in expectation as our industrial customers use more sophisticated manufacturing equipment and as their tolerance for any issues in the power of their operation is lesser and lesser. Many of our industrial customers also have sustainability goals. They want renewables either on their campus or they want an increasing part of their energy supply coming from renewables. And our cities and municipalities embracing smart city initiatives, embracing electrification, embracing integration of infrastructure between electric and telecom and 5G functionality. They want digital banners on their main streets. They want touchscreen kiosks to engage their citizens in a way that really makes sense for the era that we're in. And so as we think about transformation and as we think about where we're investing at Duke Energy, we're investing to enable this in digital technology, in legacy systems that can support this type of interaction, and also in our delivery system so that it is smarter and prepared to deliver the experience that our customers expect. We recognize as we do this transformation, however, that we can't lose sight of one very important thing, and that's affordability. Affordability for every customer. No one wants to pay more. And I know in this room, energy efficiency is a key hallmark of your work. And at Duke Energy, we think deeply about how we can accomplish this transformation and meet our customers, but do so in an affordable way. The second area that we're investing in is our energy delivery system. It's the wires, it's the poles, it's what takes power from where we generate to all of you, to our customers. It's the lifeblood of what we all experience with reliable 24/7 power. But I would say that that delivery system has more demands on it than it ever has. It was built for a one-way flow of power. I generate and deliver to you. Today, the demands are greater. I need to accommodate renewables. I need to be looking at and thinking about how I can increase hardening and resiliency, not only for industrial customers, but as I learn more about weather events and hurricanes and other things. What about that customer experience? How am I going to enable more information for my customers on an outage or on their energy usage? It's automated meters, it's self-healing technologies, it's better communication devices. And unfortunately, we also live in a time where physical and cybersecurity is something we have to think about. That energy infrastructure is a target. We all recognize it. This industry has very specific standards that we must comply with because we are critical infrastructure, and investing in that energy grid in order to ensure physical and cybersecurity is where it should be, and that the strength of the system is able to withstand what may come down the road. So we think about the technologies that are available today, digital technologies, all kinds of smart devices, sensors, and other techniques can be used to enable this smarter energy grid to meet customer expectations, to accommodate renewables, to improve hardening and resiliency, and to protect from cyber and physical attacks. And so here again, affordability is important, functionality is important, delivering customer benefits is important. And at Duke, the way we think about it is we pilot, we test, we research, we understand what these technologies can do, and are very thoughtful before we take them to scale. But I believe over the next many years, taking it to scale to include and increase the functionality of the delivery system is going to be critical, not only for our success, but for success of the communities that we serve. And then the third area I would focus on is clean energy. Clean energy is a part of the conversation. And at Duke Energy, our carbon emissions are down 30% from 2005, headed to 40%. That puts us on a path to achieve the 2-degree Paris scenario. We have accomplished it by introducing natural gas, retiring coal stations, and also bringing renewables into our system. We have 6.5 gigawatts of renewables, going to 8 by 2020. We're also experimenting and investing in battery technology. We see, as an integrated provider of electricity, a lot of potential and economic value from batteries today, not only for backup power, but alternatives to transmission and distribution investment, frequency regulation, coupled with renewables. All kinds of applications put together can really drive the economics of battery storage, and so there will be more investment there. But we're also a big believer in diversity. This industry has never been successful with a single technology, and we don't see a single technology as the solution for the future. We like the diversity of nuclear and natural gas and hydro and renewables, and for a period of time, coal will also be part of the picture at Duke Energy. I think about natural gas as an incredible resource for this industry. The technological advancement of the shale gas discovery and the amount of production that we have here in the U.S. gives us an incredible resource and tool that we can use to pursue carbon reduction. And I think about whether you believe it's a bridge fuel or whether you believe it could be a backbone for the energy industry for many years to come, that natural gas tool is something that is going to be important for us to continue our progress on carbon, but also achieve affordability and reliability of the system. We're investing in natural gas infrastructure to make sure that we have the infrastructure to support the appetite for natural gas in this region. And then for Duke Energy, continued investment in our existing nuclear plants is a part of the equation. The power that you're consuming in this building comes from nuclear power. 50% of the power in the Carolinas is from carbon-free nuclear. And if we care deeply about carbon, we care deeply about maintaining these nuclear assets as long as we possibly can. We are an advocate for second license renewal, which will give us an opportunity to operate them for a longer period of time. And we believe they're an important part of the diverse energy mix at Duke Energy. So our approach on clean energy is a thoughtful, balanced approach that continues to make progress and transitions to a lower carbon future. We think that's important for our customers and for our communities. So as we think about solving the ever more complex demands, coming up with technology needed to serve customers better in the future, just like Bill Lee, our focus is on technologies that will provide solutions to our customers. We're focused on technologies that will make our energy delivery system smarter, more resilient, more able to address what we believe the smart energy future will look like. And our focus is on technologies that will enable us to continue our progress to lower carbon. So again, let me welcome you and thank you for being here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I hope you find your time here incredibly valuable. I know you have the opportunity to put your imprint on the transformation of this industry, and I hope with the roster of speakers and activities you have during the week that you will bring home a broadened perspective on this important work that we do to power the lives of our communities, but do so in a really efficient way that meets the expectations of the customers that count on us every day. So thank you so much for your attention this morning.